think a lot of you guys know Lil Jon pretty well. So his latest album, which actually came out half a decade ago, we've got Crunk Rock. And so a little bit of history about him. He kind of has the personality of a loud and just he goes nuts. It's the best way to describe it. If you listen to rap about the early 2000s, 2001, 2004 type stuff. Like, he was all over the place. He got known just for yelling, and really what that was just a lot of it. But if you don't remember, Lil Jon kind of disappeared after about the middle of the decade. So 2005 kind of tapered off. He came back with the song that was supposed to be on this Crunk Rock album, which was Snap Your Fingers. Obviously, this was a pretty popular song, but that no album materialized. He spent the rest of the decade trying to come up with the right songs to do it. It's kind of confusing as to why we were unable to get like the evolution of crunk, but it's not exactly easy to advance a genre. That's one thing to understand is, he could have made more songs like Usher's Yeah and Sierra's Goodies and, like some of the songs off his Crunk Juice album, but most people probably would have said it was a rehash. So obviously, most people say we need you to go in a new direction. I think that was something that was kind of difficult. I did like the song Snap Your Fingers. It's been a long time since I've heard it, but just kind of rap, all that snap movement that was around in 2006, that type era, it kind of felt like he was going to get into that, but it was just more of a fad more so than anything, which was kind of the disappointing part, just because, well, obviously you're probably wondering, well, what direction did this album end up going in? And so obviously the answer is Crunk Rock came out summer of 2010, and Lil Jon is not short on ideas. Now, unfortunately, since it's been 5 years, I'm also able to let you know that not all of these ideas really got fleshed out as much as they would have thought they were going to back in 2010. But it's not horrid music. This is just like the LMFAO album I reviewed. This is perfect summertime music. And if you can stand that it's a little bit old, it's still a great album to cut loose to. Needless to say, Lil Jon's a party animal, and you'll quite easily get wild to this. So, can you smoke to it? I think the answer is yes, you can. I feel like songs like Killers and G-Walk and Out of Your Mind and Get In, Get Out, possibly Shots and Ride the D are just some great ones to smoke to. This album is more about alcohol more than, smoke. So just know that. And, you just have to watch what you do because, this recklessness, obviously, consequences, but, it basically is just summer fun. That's really all it is. So, production, I did like it. I really liked the first couple songs. Lil Jon does a lot of different things on this record, and hearing him on what he likes as far as rap is concerned is pretty slick. The first couple songs, Throw It Up and G-Walk, have some great beats. Get In, Get Out and Out of Your Mind really sound like you're getting screwed up, and Miss Chocolate's a pretty good take on R&B. So these are just a few different things that you're going to hear, and all of these are produced really well. Another one would be Killers. So, but the unheard songs. So I liked 6 songs out of 12, and then 2 almost songs. So the 6 songs I liked were Throw It Up, Part 2, G-Walk, Killas, Get In, Get Out, Out of Your Mind, and Miss Chocolate. Now, Miss Chocolate has some R&B on there. You know, if you're just thinking, well, all we're going to do is just get wrecked the whole time, well, it's not actually like that. You know, it's got some good songs. Another song like that, but I didn't like, was Like a Stripper. Get In, Get Out, and Out of Your Mind sound like the real party songs. LMFAO is on here, and you know, this is almost like a secret LMFAO album just because they're similar in style. And you know, Shots I didn't like as much, but that's their second appearance. Killas, G-Walk, and Throw It Up are the rap oriented songs, but they're not calm. So keep that in mind. It's easily gonna get you out of your seat. But the two Almost songs were Ride the D and Work It Out. And Ride the D, that one's really, if you just give it time, you'll notice that the beat is actually pretty hypnotic. Ying Yang Twins is on there. We needed another song from these guys. I don't remember what Work It Out sounds like, but I'm thinking that one is about, you know, the style that was popular about 5 years ago, 2011, that pre-EDM stuff, just, you know, going out, going to the club and getting drunk type stuff. That's what you're finding, and that's the direction that I wanted to talk about, is just that, you know, what had happened was this album wasn't dated in 2010 just because it came out right around the time when Europop and like this EDM sort of sound, all those people who took off with that back in 2012 and 11, you know, this was a pretty good timing for 2010. You're going to find that more than 2 or 3 songs do that. And, you know, I would like to see what Lil Jon kind of is on top of these days. He was going to make an album called Party Animal, but, you know, it's just interesting because, you know, 2015, the sounds are just so strange. You listen to the radio and you just can't figure out what style is king right now. So it's just difficulty all across the board. But, you know, needless to say, this is quite wild. So the score, because I like 6 out of 12 and then the 2 Almost songs, I'm going to give this album an 8. You know, like 7.5, 8 is basically what it is, because there's only 4 songs I don't like. Most of them just because they're just too, you know, they just feel like having it a little too optimistic. It's not necessarily I mind that, but I don't know. It's hard to describe why I didn't like them, but I just didn't. So I'll give it a 7.5, 8. I'll go with an 8 just because there's only 4 songs I don't like. And the future, that's kind of a question mark. Lil Jon, we're not sure. Social Score is going to get a 7 just because there's a lot of get wrecked songs, get wild songs, but, you know, you just don't necessarily hear that. You know, it's not like the old days where he was, you know, all over the Billboard. And then plus it's pretty dated. Can it be top? Not likely. You know, this is a surprise hit. So subscribe for more fun. 8 and 7 Social.